Hello everyone, and welcome back to the last part of this guide, hopefully. There's another 30 to 33 weapons to get through, and we're just going to go straight into it. The first one we have is stone. I believe you get this for finishing mission set 1. But basically you want to just aim at a person in a hole, and that's where you're going to get most damage. The upgrades are somewhat the same, where you just aim into the hole and damage. Lots of damage. The fireball being the strongest by quite some bit. Anyways, next one is possibly one of my personal favourites. It is the cat's tier. If it'll let me choose the bleeding thing. There we go. Right, cats are just like normal shots. You hit the person and they take damage. The kittens are... the damage they deal is based on how close or how far you are to the enemy, as many other shots. And you hit more from closer, but you do more damage from far away, so it depends really. And the super cats you saw there, just a bigger version of cat. And then cats and dogs is a flare based airstrike, for lack of a better word. And it just rains cats and dogs. Sorry as well as if I sound a bit, I don't know, floofy, for lack of words, cause yeah. But just a really icky week and just lots of stuff and stuff. But anyways, back to this. Ghost Bomb is next. You get this for mission set 3. Basically extremely large shots that deal a small bit of damage. Yeah, you have to aim ghostlets at some bit of an angle, because if you don't, they'll just go all over the place and you'll end up missing one or two, or yeah. Next one is Rave. Maybe this way? And by the way, no, it's the other way, crap. When I'm done with this, I'm gonna start and try my hand at editing and stuff, because this, going through the thing, especially with my crappy laptop, is really taking the piss. I mean, these videos could have been quite a bit shorter, but well, you can see why they're not. Okay, for the 3 tiers of flasher, you just want to aim straight at the enemy, and it'll do its thing. They're basically all the same, with just a slightly bigger blast radius with more blasts. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Ow. Okay, next one we have is Spreader, and what's the other one called? Blossom. Grr, we're back over this way. You know, it might be faster if I just scroll through them. Oh, there it is. There we go. Right. There's a slight trick to using Blossom and this one. Spreader, that's it. If you just shoot like that, they will do their damage and stuff. Oops. Meant to use Blossom that time. Blossom is just a double sprouter with slightly less damage. But the best thing with this is if you've got a person over at a bumper. You go over here, you shoot the person, and all of one side will dig that person down. Oh, and another thing I want to point out as well, if people are wondering, there was an update. It was either late last night or early this morning where there's now 3 tanks in the firing range. Which is okay, I guess, but nothing great. Okay, for square, hexagon and octagon, there's not too many there's not too much advice I could give. Just aim a bit aim as if you're going to hit either here or here, and you'll get at least 1 or 2 each time. Although square can be a bit tricky. Okay, the next one we have is positively crazy. And this is just a big kerfuffle of all the different, well, not all, a few of the different starty shots. The wacky cluster contains a breaker, a 1 bounce, a splitter, and a shot, I believe. I'll just see again. Yeah. The cookie cluster. This adds a roller to the mix, which adds, I think, 10 damage or something. Then crazy adds a digger on top of all of that, so it truly is crazy. Next we have is satellite and UFO. There we go. These have to be the most disappointing weapons ever, and you get these, from what I can remember anyways, from finishing the 8th set of missions. So you have to do the last boss and all of those annoying missions. And you'll see both of them do the same amount of damage. The only difference is UFO has an ever so slightly bigger blast radius than the other one, satellite. That is it. Okay, next we have is triple palm. Triple palm. I don't know, I feel really posh if I say palm. But who am I to judge how it is or isn't supposed to be said? These are now the start of weapons you get from challenges. I am not gonna lie, I cannot for the life of me remember what challenge gives you what weapons, but yeah, it's all in the challenges menu anyways. The best way I think to use these is as it is now, where the thing is somewhat near the side bumper, so you can get 1 to bounce back or get eaten by a mountain, which happens from time to time. But yeah, they do okay damage, I guess. Okay, the next one is borderline copyright something, and well, it does this. The trick with these is that if somebody's installed a circle shield, not one of these, that's the one, not one of those, but a circle, like the, what you call it, Jesus, my brain's gone to circle bumper. That's the one. Circle bumper, these will get them. And these will go the full way across the map. There's no stopping it, apart from hitting enemies. If you hit friends, it does no damage, so that is grand. And the next one we have is one of the more powerful weapons in this game. And it doesn't look like it at the start, but be Jesus it is. It's Fountain, Waterworks, and Sprinkler. Now most people, they would look at that and think, well, That was a load of crap, wasn't it? But I need a... there we go. If you are sitting somewhere like this, and your enemy is on the ledge, and you put a sprinkler right under them, you saw those other ones did... oh crap. Those other ones did somewhat average damage, to say the least, but this one just takes the cake. It used to do a lot more damage, I think. They were all 10s originally, which... it was worse than heavy napalm, so it was. Okay, the next weapon you need... this is another challenge one. By the way, we're into weapons you unlock by challenges. And this one you need to play 5,000 games. Yep, it is a bit ridiculous, but I mean, when you get high enough level, you're gonna have that amount played. So, most people will eventually get this should they decide to keep playing. And yeah, the first two, actually, it's not all that great. The last tier I do like because it's one of the more unique weapons in this game. And anyways, we have Flattener, Wall, Fortress, and Funnel. Okay, Flattener does that. You just shoot it like a shot and it flattens the plane. Wall, again, a bit self-explanatory. When you shoot it, it builds a wall. Fortress is kind of like Wall, except half the height, but it does a wall each side of where the thing lands. Which is kind of hard to see there, but there we go. And Funnel, it creates a funnel that raises, lowers terrain as required, and also shoots out a few bouncy balls. And yeah, it's always fun listening to people, or not listening, watching people's reaction to that. Okay, the next one is everyone who sees it, they always come up with some sort of pun for KFC. But these are affected by range. These are kind of random in distance and damage when it's fired. But they're actually not too bad a weapon at range. Also, each tier does... that one does the most damage per chicken, but there's only 3. That does 1 less, that does 2 less, but there's 4 and 5 in that, so... somewhat diminishing returns on power, but numbers makes up for it, I guess. Okay, we are now on to our next somewhat copyright infringing weapon. Although I say that loosely because I've no idea if these are trademarked, copyright, whatever. But anyone that's played the mobile phone game, you're gonna know what these are. Yeah, this is where I think the creativity started to just walk out the door. But the damage on the Mad Birds, Livid Birds, Furious Birds, there's no change depending on how close the person is, so don't be afraid to just get right up in their business and, I don't know, bird them to death. You can flip them the bird. Oh Jesus. My own puns hurt me deep inside. So I do apologize wholeheartedly. Next we are looking for a salt and a pepper. Of course it is going to be all the way over here. There we go. This is by far one of the game's worst weapons. And the fact that you need to unlock this by other means than leveling up is just a big pile of male cow dung. That is the nicest way I can put it. But you just want to aim at the person and they take a small bit of damage. So yeah, that is... But on the flip side of the scale, we have one of the game's strongest weapons, which is Needler and Dual Needler. This weapon you want to aim high power but low arc, because it's damage based but the needles spread a lot. So the lower the arc you can keep and the higher the power, the more you're going to hit, which means the more damage you do, and as you can see, it's pretty decent damage. Especially considering you get this at, I believe it is 10,000 XP you need. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. Next on the list is Beaconator, which, once again is all the way over the other side. So how is everyone this impervious day? Because the weather in this country has been horrible the last few days, the last few weeks even, and I do not like the sun, so that is my version of horrible. We've had clear skies, the temperature has been about 20 to 25 degrees Celsius, which is, I don't know, I'm going to take a stab at it and say about 75 to 80 degrees Fahrenheit. But yeah, next one we have is Beacon and Beaconator. Yeah, you just want to get this on top of the person and all the shots will bounce around inside a set barrier. I have a few interesting facts about this weapon. The first one is that originally that pink ball that shoots up, at the very beginning it was in Beacon by mistake. And the second bit of useless information is if you use that under a teleport, the things will go all over the place and will not stay within that boundary. Next one we have is Popcorn. Popcorn is a really good weapon. It takes this, you have to get 100,000 XP to unlock, but it is well worth it, because although that one really doesn't do much damage at all, the other two are where it's all at. That was a really good Popcorn. He deserves a raise or something. The damage is again based on distance. If I shoot from further away, more damage, so on and so forth. And just to get a look at Burnt Popcorn, because it kind of all went into him there. It has fire, because, yeah, and then it also shows the increased damage and range. Okay, the next two weapons on the list I do not currently have, but I will upload a video with them when I get them. The first one is Chopper, which you need 1 million XP for, which is nowhere near worth the effort at all. And the second weapon is Blunderbuss and Flintlock, which again, not worth the effort, but you need 5,000 wins for them. Not games, wins. Anyways, Shellshock is the next one that I completely missed. But yeah, you get this after killing 2,500 tanks, which in the grand scheme of things won't take long at all. This is another case of where the first and the second thingy seem to do the same amount of damage. Unless I'm missing one, both of them do 60. It's probably a lot easier to hit it with Shellshock than Skeleton, so again, a complete useless level up of a weapon. Okay, next weapon we have is Pins and Needles. Right there. And this is one of the most precision based weapons in the game. It's almost as bad as arrow. But you get this from doing 200 damage in one shot. And when I mean one shot, I mean the number 200 has to appear on the screen. Hitting 2 people for 100 does not count. Hitting 20 people for 10 does not count, although I get 10 people, 20 people on. I'm getting mixed up on my numbers. But yeah, 200 in one shot. The best thing I can recommend is increase your gun and use sniper, because you get a crit from that when you have the 3 perks, and that's 200 damage, and that's at least a weapon. If you get a mega nuke though and an X2, there's potential for 400, which is the other challenge. Right, next on the list is the money shot, also known as Make It Rain. For this weapon you need to have a total of 1000 gears all at once. You can't have, say, 700 and have already bought something for 300 and count that as 1000. You need to have 1000 gears on you. This weapon can be used in a few ways. The main thing of this weapon is you shoot it up and, well, you make it rain money. But I personally think that the best way to use this is aim straight at the person, and that's pretty much how you're going to get the most damage out of it. There is a little, I don't know if it's a bug, a glitch or whatever with this that's kind of funny, but I'll show you now. If you aim this weapon at, I believe it's 0 degrees or lower, this happens. It's, oh, yeah, there we go. It comes back and slaps you in the face. I remember doing that the first time and I laughed a lot. Okay, next one is possibly one of the hardest weapons to get in the game. Even harder than Flintlock, which is a 5000 wins. Even harder than Chopper, which is 1,000,000 XP. This weapon is God Rays and Deity. You get this by somehow managing to defeat the developer. This weapon it's really not worth the effort, I think. I mean, it does decent damage at times, but I don't think it's worth the effort trying to find a dev. And yeah, I don't know. But my advice for this weapon is, if you want to try and get it, be online as soon as there's updates. So the best thing that you could do, really, if you really wanted, is to be online basically in or around late evening America time on the date that the update is supposed to be happening. Okay, our next weapon is Concealed Blade, Hidden Blade, and the other type of blade. What's the other one? Secret Blade. This is basically like shot. You shoot the thing at the enemy and a blade pops up. This you need, I think it's 250 kills in Assassin game mode to get that weapon. Because, well, Assassin's Creed reference. Next one is this little boyo up here, also known as the portal gun. It shoots out portal stuff at a companion cube, and it does its little animation and goes boom. And the upgraded version, ASHPD, or Aperture Science Handheld Portal Device, which is just a complicated way of saying the portal gun. The only difference between it is that ASHP does 10 more damage, and there's more of a distance between the portals, which means it can do crazy stuff if you use it under a bumper, which I advise you to do that at least once in its life cycle. Anyways, we're almost at the end of this. The next thing we have is our shop weapons, which I'm not going to go into too much detail about because I have a completely breath. Okay, I have a completely separate video going into detail on these weapons, which I shall link in the description below. But we have Volcano Eruption, we have, what is it, Throwing Star, Ninja, and what's the other one? Multi-Star. And let's see, what others? I'm going to try and remember them off the top of my head here. There's this, then there is Summoner and Mage. There is Tangent, Tangential Fire, Tangential the other one, and the other tangential weapon. There is Skeet, there is Travelers, and that's about it. There is Olympic Skeet, which I think that if for just customization's sake, that Skeet you should be able to colour it whatever you want. Because, I mean, I'm Irish, I would happily change the colour of these to green, white and orange. Because, I mean, it's just so much better than blue, white and red. And in that one sentence, I have offended a lot of people. Let's see, if this isn't Tangent, no, spam, so Tangent's all the way over here. But just to point out, I have nothing against anyone. Just making that pretty clear. Yeah, there's only 3 more left. God. By the end of this, I know I will have definitely used almost every weapon in this game. But, yeah. I might as well because, again, at this point I'm only using these weapons as just to be used, really. I will do a video in the next while of... I'm going to just do a top 10 of my favourite weapons in this game. Because... crap. It has a lot of variety. And I do kind of use that in a light-hearted way because although I say there's a lot of variety, if you really look at it, a lot of the weapons are just repeats of other ones that... like, a lot of the weapons are just reskins of shot. That's the way I look at it. And that's no fun. But, yeah, I'll do a top 10 of my favourite weapons. I might do another one of... although it will require quite a bit of research on my part, which I'll do. And that is the 10 strongest weapons in the game at this moment. Although there is the argument that that is kind of situational, so yeah. Come on, Mage. But I'm also, because I have a big problem where my internet is, to be extremely blunt, shit. And this game is internet game, so if I don't have internet I can't play this game. So I'm going to finally make a start on properly doing a few single player games and stuff. The first one I am going to do is... I think I've decided with Croc. It was one of the games that I've never really finished because it was just really, really difficult as a child. I don't know why. But I'm going to try Croc and then Croc 2 and I will take it from there and see what happens. But I'll be doing that in between doing videos on this game. And yeah. So that right there, guys, was all the weapons. If anyone even bothered to watch this long, thanks a million, and yay, I hit 200 subscribers over the last few days, and it's slowly increasing, and that is somewhat exciting to me. And yeah, just thank you so much for everything, and I can now put all my points back into the old skill tree over here. Yeah. I had this completely off so I would show the sort of base damage of weapons without the critical hits, and just to get a more, what's the word, a greater sense of how powerful each weapon is. Okay, I'm going to go for that one. I'm going to go for, that's HP, that is armor. I'm going to go with armor, and then I'm going to go for more items. Never getting this one, because I don't want more points or armor from a box. So yeah, when I hit level 100 eventually, I'll be getting this, and that will forever be alone. And for anyone interested, I am still 47,000 XP away from 100, but I'm going to start working on that as of like 10 minutes after I finish this video. Anyways, guys, thank you so much. See you in the next one. Goodbye. Have a wonderful day.